Hello and welcome to Second Edition. I'm Reese Andrews.
And I'm Callan Dunlop. We've got a great show lined up for you tonight.
This week, we'll be talking about gas prices skyrocketing, as well as a tasty, cost-effective meal for college students.
We will also look at how NAIT Athletics is doing this season. But first, NAIT is now lifting their mask mandate.
NAIT announced last week that face masks will no longer be mandatory on campus starting March 14th. Some students are excited about the new mask mandate, but others are a bit more concerned about the effects lifting restrictions may have.
I think it's a good idea to keep the masks in certain situations, I guess.
I'm a little bit concerned that it could cause some problems with hospitalizations.
These things, in the hot classrooms, they just distract us.
I feel comfortable without them, but at the same time, I'm fine with having them on.
NAIT says that students' health and safety remains a top priority as health orders continue to change.
The war in Ukraine has yet to slow down, and families are suffering because of it. A Ukrainian immigrant has decided to fly from Edmonton to Poland to send supplies, as well as boost morale to his fleeing family.
Feel good about being able to do something with everything going on rather than just watching on my phone screen what's happening, which, for a lot of people, that's the only option. And staying informed and staying in the loop with what's going on is really important as well. But for me, I'm just excited to participate, so that feels really good.
Lachnuk has left for Poland this past Sunday and has reunited with his family since then. Gas prices have been increasing steadily, and NAIT students are struggling. With prices at an all-time high, students have been reconsidering how they commute.
It's very expensive right now. It's almost like twice the price. So, but still, you have no choice with it. So,
I've been driving. I don't live in Edmonton, so I have to drive. There's no buses out there, so it's kind of been like I have to pay more, no other way around it. So it does kind of suck.
I live down at the south end of Edmonton, but otherwise I don't really do much else driving. So I'm counting it as part of my school costs, but it's definitely making it a lot more frustrating.
NAIT students have accepted their reality as they push through this expensive time.
This weekend, Skirts of Fire wrapped up their 10-day festival by having 4 female and non-binary artists tap into their creativity for a skirt design challenge. Each artist was challenged to create a full window display with an upcycled skirt as a centerpiece, following the theme 4 Directions.
This year's theme was 4 Directions, which was taken from the main stage play Aita, and it represented people coming from all different directions coming together to create one cohesive exhibit.
You can expect to see Skirts of Fire and some more amazing artists next year as they expect to have another successful festival in 2023. Now to the world of sports, where the NAIT Ooks men's volleyball team went against Red Deer for the playoffs this weekend.
Taryn Dolan joins us now with a look at their first series matchup.
Thanks. Let's get right into men's volleyball. The team finished the season in the top of the standings. Both teams played their hardest and tested each other's skills. It was a very close game between them. This concludes this season. Till next year.
I just started following along, and it's actually quite entertainment, good sports, good school involvement. It's very good, exciting, energetic, fun.
The men's Ooks volleyball did excellent this year and hopefully will do even better next year and bring home gold. The NAIT badminton teams are prepping for their national championships. You can support them this weekend at NAIT Gym, where the national championships will be held and the champions will be decided.
Very challenging for our student athletes. this year with COVID and whatnot, but they've done a great job. They've got their season in and qualified 7 student athletes to national championships here. So they're really looking forward to it. They're very excited. They've been here practicing on these courts. We brought some sport courts in from Toronto and the gym looks completely different. We've transformed it and just very excited to host these national championships.
You can go and support NAIT badminton team at the national championships this weekend.
The Ooks athletic teams are really showing up this year. Congrats to the men's volleyball team.
And good luck to the 7 students that are heading to badminton nationals this weekend. Thank you, Taryn.
Thanks, guys.
As the semester is winding down, many students are winding up for summer jobs.
Second edition's Nigel Gale speaks to the president of NAIT to find out what kind of options are out there.
Thanks, guys. So today we're joined with NAIT's president, Geraldine Kotulinski. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And today we're going to speak about jobs for NAIT students. So Geraldine, tell me, where does a student begin when they're looking for a job for summertime?
I think a great first step is honestly even looking at the NAIT website. So NAIT has a whole section, the career services, that they can just check out right there, and it can be even program specific.
Does NAIT have any positions open right now?
So we do have some positions open. We did just hire for some of them for the campus activities board, so that hiring I believe is complete. But we do have peer supporter positions, we have peer support coordinator positions, and service hub assistants. So those are all student positions from about August till about April.
So this kind of seems like an obvious question, but do employers look at this kind of thing for job experience? So when they're hiring, do they look at that kind of work experience?
They definitely do, and we're definitely seeing more of that, where lots of employers are looking for skills like problem solving, conflict resolution, and lots of those things can be through student jobs.
Can you tell us a little bit about NAIT Career Services?
Absolutely. So there's a section on the NAIT website called NAIT Career Services, and it actually, if you go straight there, it will lead you to like different advisors. There's different sessions on like resume building, creating your own cover letter, but there's also sections on like interviews, and you can actually meet with someone and practice your interview skills. So they have a whole bunch of sessions. I really recommend students check it out.
Are you aware of any hiring agencies in the city here that NAIT, that students could use as a resource?
One of the really great ones I think could be Svensson Neighbor Recruiting. She's actually a NAIT grad, and she's talked to lots of NAIT students about like resumes and cover letters, and actually used to sit on the alumni committee.
So would it make sense for students to maybe talk to the head of their department when searching for jobs this summer?
Definitely, yes. So it's really great because then they can get some more program-specific knowledge. Right. Lots of different programs have, different ways of writing resumes or cover letters. And so keeping that in mind, like your dean or your professor would already have that knowledge and could help you out.
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much for joining us, Geraldine, today. It's always a pleasure. And for Second Edition News, I'm Nigel Gale.
After reading week, students focus on school like never before.
For most students, it's crunch time. Angela Kazmarchuk speaks with NAITSA and with NAIT's counselor to find out how students can maintain their mental health when homework piles on and on.
Right after reading week is a busy time for students. What should students do? What should they not do? What resources are available to them? Today we have from NAITSA's peer support, Renata Madros to speak with us. And coming up, we will have Tanya Spencer from NAIT's Student Counseling.
Hi Renata, thanks again for joining us. So what can you tell us about peer support?
So once the students go to see their peer supporter and talk to them about what's troubling them, the peer supporters will be able at the end of the session give them resources available throughout the city or even throughout Canada that will help them with their studies and with their mental health.
What kind of conversations are peer supporters having with NAIT students?
They're in a fight, for example, with their family, or if they're having troubles in a relationship, they can go talk to peer support. If they are upset about a grade or anything that would affect their mental health, peer supporters are there to help them.
We're now here with Tanya Spencer. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. So, how can students deal with this busy time right now?
Right. Well, anytime March starts, the semester starts to heat up. We've given a lot of people the impression that school's going to be fun as long as we're interested in what we're doing, and it should be. But learning is always stressful, and so I meet a lot of people who think, you know, I'm the only one that's stressed out. How come all these other people look so relaxed and I'm not? And they start to worry there's something wrong with them or they're not good enough somehow. Some folks don't pay attention to how the assignments are weighted. I'm not saying you shouldn't do any of your homework, you know, but try to bet wisely. If all the things you have to accomplish were a horse race, which one would you bet on first?
What can students find through exercise?
Exercise is fabulous because it kind of kicks out the jams, or even a walk around the block. It's not going to get rid of all your doubts and your worries, but it might sort of prove to you that even though I'm having these worries or these doubts or some guilt, I can still move my arms and legs, I can still get out there and kind of, you know, figuratively clear my head, I guess.
Thank you so much, Tanya, for meeting with us today.
You're welcome.
I'm Angela Kuzmarchuk. This is Second Edition News.
After the break, we will be heading into the kitchen to learn how to cook some delicious yam fries.
Plus, mask anxiety. We talked to a local expert about how masking affects your mental health.
Welcome back to Second Edition. A recent study out of Waterloo University found that mask protocols have increased anxiety among citizens.
Second Edition's Talia Modis sat down with Karen Hitchcock, a mental health therapist, to get more insight.
Hi, I'm Talia Modis. I'm with NAIT Newswatch, and today I am with Karen Hitchcock, who is a mental health therapist in Red Deer. And today we're going to be discussing mask anxiety and the rolling back of mask restrictions.
The first thing I kind of wanted to ask is, what do you think about mask anxiety? Like, have you heard about it? Do you think that that's something that like is more recent? Or...
Well, I think, yeah, I don't really know about the label itself, but definitely I can see where the transition from not having masks to wearing a mask all the time is anxious for many people and what that creates, as well as moving from not having a mask into being in the public environment without masks. That can create anxiety, right?
Have you seen an increase in people coming for like services as well for counseling?
Absolutely. There's a huge increase in services right now. So, I mean, what was normal before changed, and then our norm was masks, and now it's changed back to not wearing masks. So it shifts.
How do you think we can begin to combat that and start to get back to normal and get ourselves a bit more comfortable?
So my suggestion would be, you know, now that we're entering into spring, is to get outside. Get outside and go for a walk with people and talk to people.
I just have one final question, which is just kind of like, for these people who have been struggling with mask anxiety, who are really unsure of the future and kind of scared to go back, what would you want to tell them, or what kind of advice would you want to give them?
Well, first and foremost, if you're going somewhere and you know that masks aren't required anymore, before you go in, ask yourself, am I comfortable not wearing a mask? If I'm comfortable not wearing a mask, then I just need to walk through the building or the environment or whatever and just do some deep breathing, right? Because sometimes people will go into a crowd and their anxiety will go, right? So we want to decrease that and we want to do some deep breathing. However, don't be afraid to wear a mask if you want to wear a mask. There's nothing wrong with it, right?
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Very welcome. It was my pleasure.
This is Talia Modis.
Signing off.
Now it's time to head into the kitchen and cook up an easy and budget-friendly meal idea.
Our Colby Ip shows us how to make tasty yam fries.
Hi everyone, I'm Colby Ip with Second Edition, and today we're going to be taking you through the process of making yam fries at home. Everyone likes yam fries, but not everyone likes going out and having to buy the big bucks to get them. So I'm going to show you how to make that at home, easy, within an hour.
So you want to start off by cutting your yams into nice little fry shapes. Look for yams that are longer more than wide, as they'll cut better. You'll then want to preheat your oven to about 400 degrees Fahrenheit and just let that sit till it's ready. Then you want to fill a pot with water and put it on an element on high heat. Once the water is boiling, start to add your fries. We're then going to make our seasoning, which is 1 tablespoon each of chili powder, seasoning salt, and Italiano seasoning. Then strain your pot. Once strained, set your fries out on a baking sheet. You'll then want to grab olive oil and give them a light sprinkling. This helps them get nice and crispy in the oven. Once oiled, grab your seasoning and give them a nice sprinkle, and make sure you hit everywhere. Once the fries are seasoned, place them in the oven for about 40 minutes. Once your fries are in the oven, it's time to make the spicy mayo, which is a mixture of mayonnaise and your hot sauce of choice. Adjust to taste. Once your fries are done, take them out of the oven and let them sit still for about 5 or 10 minutes in a cool area. Once your fries have finished cooling, it's time to start serving. The thing that's great about these yam fries is that they can be used in any occasion. They work as appetizers for dinner parties, the main courses of lunch, and even as a part of breakfast. And they are cheap and easy to make, as they require very few ingredients and have a very simple cooking process.
Alright everybody, so that's how you can make these delicious yam fries at home by yourself. I'm Colby Yip, and this has been 2nd Edition.
That's all we have for you on today's episode of 2nd Edition. I'm Reese Andrews.
And I'm Talon Dugma. We'll see you next week on 2nd Edition. Stay safe and have a great night.